Hey guys, Vincentius here. I was browsing Reddit for once in a long while, and I came across a user who was talking about how to store cards, whether to use portfolios or binders, and he brought up this interesting point that I kind of wanted to bring to light. Now, yes, this is a mat here, but what's under it is what I'm reviewing today. I've had it since Tuesday, and I absolutely love it. And what it is it's called a Feldherr case, and I'll go ahead and flip that over. It's called a Feldherr case. Now, he had made the mention that nobody on the Reddit that he had seen had really brought any of these to anyone's attention. Now, someone that I play with at the local shop that I go to has these in the big variety, which I'll go over here in a moment. This is the only one I have. But these cases are absolutely incredible, and they are an amazing price. So I don't work for them, but I will advocate a great product when I find one, especially since apparently not many people know about this, hopefully. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this video goes. So essentially what it is it's a canvas bag. It's got a little bit of dust on it, but it's a canvas kind of a material bag. It's pretty scratchy. It's got this, plastic bit that's on there. Then there's not much more to it. There's a thing for like a name or an ID card on it if you're that concerned. And then the zippers have like a medieval F lasered into them, which is pretty kind of cool. There we go. See if I get that right here. Yeah, there we go. So the case itself is foam. If you've ever seen Warhammer 40k or watched Warhammer 40k, Star Wars Armada, any of the big miniature sets, you'll see that they have cases much like this. This is just a foam liner to keep everything in place, but it's foam. The case comes with a little bit of a pocket up here. Now, you can put just about anything you want up here. If you take out one of the trays, you can obviously fit more in the pouch, because when you close the bag, it'll not zip properly if there's too much in it. But, I usually put like a checklist and a couple like loose, if I open a pack, I'll put the cards from the pack into it. But you guys can go ahead and look at that there. They make all different kinds. I'm going to put the link for the Amazon in the video description itself. And then towards the end, I'll go over like the pricing model for some of this, for some of these models, and we'll take a look at that later. But the thing that I like is that this is really clean. Sorry, trying to film with one hand and zip with another. This is a really clean way to carry your stuff. Mine has 2 layers. You can get some with less. Mine has 2 layers, and this is what it looks like with stuff in it. This is a Django Kylo deck, but it's a prototype and it sucks. So I'm going to be rebuilding that for right now. But let's just go ahead and take a look at this. Now I've got everything over here to the side as far as what we're going to put in it. So let's take a look here. If we look at the part for the deck here in the middle, these are Fantasy Flight sleeves, the Palpatine ones, the limited edition. So let's go ahead and just plop those in. Perfect. That's a 30 card deck plus the 2 heroes, because this is a Jabba uncard deck. And you can put them in either way. If you try to put them in double sleeved, I found they kind of stick out a little bit, depending on what sleeves you're using. Thicker sleeves obviously will be sticking out a little bit more. I didn't try it with Profits. I tried it with Fantasy Flight sleeves and then an oversleeve, and they were pretty much a little bit thicker than this, so it pillowed over, which I wouldn't always recommend. But taking a look at that, let's go ahead and throw in some dice and we'll see how well these fit here. So here's going to be the Crime Lords. They just fall straight in. Like, no problem getting them in, no problem getting them out. And they don't... The cards will tip out, but the dice will not. And that's what's incredible. And I really, really stand behind this, because as we start to refill this case here, we'll see that all of the dice kind of fall into place. And where's the other cunning? Sorry. When you start having this, it's really nice because you have your 2 ofs, on each side. And if you only have, like, let's say I only have 3 2-ofs on this side, then you have 4 spots for just, singles of cards if you have singles for dice. But if your deck's running more than 24 cards in it that have dice, or if your deck has more than 24 dice, you might be running too much, I've found. I might be wrong, but that's just from my experience. Because I tried to run decks that had as many dice as they possibly could fit, and it didn't work. So I'll go ahead and fill in that last one. Now you might be asking, what are these really wide ones for here? Well, it's easy. It's for tokens. It is for, like, resources. And I have shields in the lower one, but excuse me. I have 3 starter decks worth of tokens. So between the 2 tiles, I have all the tokens we need. But go ahead and kind of fill those in there. Oh, I didn't drop any behind it. Cool, fantastic. So kind of all fills in there. If you run a deck like a blue deck that would have way more dice, you have more than enough room to build the deck and still put everything in here. If you needed more room, obviously, for this model, there's a second tray. And see, you can pull out the first tray and put the first tray back in without losing anything. The deck sometimes is a little bit of a hassle, but it's not too bad. And then, obviously, this little sheet here goes on top so that your deck doesn't move, so that when you zip this up, I'll zip it up most of the way. You can shake it around as much as you want, and when you unzip it, the deck's a little bit bad, but I mean, it's still better than it being all over the place. Your tokens stayed, and sorry, kind of off screen there. The deck was a little bit off, but the tokens and the dice were all the same, and they didn't move. And they don't make any sound. Whereas if you're carrying a bucket, they tend to slide and clack, and this keeps them nicer. Now, they make bags that only hold dice, no decks, no tokens, no any of that, just dice. And they make sheets, because these foam sheets, pull this out again, aren't too thick. They're about an inch and a quarter thick. Kind of hard to show there, but they're about an inch and a quarter thick. And this bag's probably about 4 inches tall. Here, 3-4 inches tall. I don't know the exact specific dimensions. I don't have that number on me. But they do make different ones, and we can go ahead and look at the price here. You can get it comes with the bag for these first ones. The bag with one deck, 24 dice, is $29.99, which by itself I probably would avoid just getting the one. But when you look at the other prices, you can get one deck with 64 dice for $34.99. So it's a deck tray, and then they have an additional tray that I wish I had one visible here, but I don't own any. A buddy of mine does at the shop I play at. But it's a whole tray that just holds 40 straight across dice. So the one deck with 64 dice would have one of these trays, and then just a straight dice tray. And that's $34.99. Then you can move up to the 2-deck, 48 dice total, so it's 24, and then 24 here, and then 24 beneath it for $34.99, same price. That's the one that I have, because that's, I like to carry 2 decks in case a friend joins me, or if I go somewhere, I have 2 decks that I can play with. Then there's the next one up from this, and I know that the bags vary depending on which one you get per number of trays. There's a 3-deck, 80 dice for $39.99, which I would recommend if you like to run more decks. And then there's the Colossal, the 5-deck, 120 total dice between all of the pads, which I think is 5 and 24. Yeah, it's 120. So that's $39.99, which is the same price as 3-deck in 80 dice. So you can upgrade to the 5-deck for free, essentially, compared to the 3-deck, which is pretty cool. Now, if you really just want dice for storage, I like these for storage. I'm going to eventually buy a bag, the 200 dice bag, just for dice, and it sits about 2.5 times as tall. But it's $39.99 for the 200 dice bag, and then it's $34.99 for the 80 dice bag, which I think is really good. The 80 dice bag would be this size, the 2 tray, because it's 40 dice a tray, and then the 200 dice is 5 trays, so it'll be, you know, about 6 inches tall, 7 inches tall for the bag. They also sell just trays here on this Amazon listing. They have one tray for it's a tray that's one of these trays. It's a 1 deck 24 dice for $10.99, and then they have a tray for just 40 dice for $10.99. So if you buy like the 200 dice box and you go, you know, I have all these dice, but I'd like to be able to put 1 deck in this bag, well, go ahead and pull out one of your sheets and then replace it with the other one. And you can interchange these sheets because all of these sheets have the same dimensions across each one. And so all the bags are interchangeable. And I have tested that with a buddy of mine's bag. His bag is the 200 dice, and my sheets fit into his tray. Or my trays fit into his bag, I should say. Make it coherent. But yeah, it's a really good product. I really, really like it. The bigger bags on the outside have a handle. I think it's on this side. They have a handle to carry them with. The smaller one does not, which is kind of a downside, but it's not too big of a problem. There's, again, how to spell the company's name. Now, they're out of, I believe, Germany. And I saw this online. I saw it from the buddy of mine at the shop, but his bag, you know, is obviously different. But when I saw his, I had to look online, and I found it on Amazon. So, and just for like a size comparison, if it's kind of hard to see like exactly what this size is, that's the deck box for Store Championship for top 8. Is it top 8? Yeah, it's top 8. So that's kind of the size. You can probably fit two in here that way, or 2.5 of them that way, and then you can probably fit 4 of them that way if you want to run foam and boxes, but that would be up to you. But they're really nice lined bags. It's kind of hard to get it to show on camera, but there is the Centurion helmet, or Centurion style helmet, in the fabric, and it's all really nicely made. I cannot complain about its craftsmanship. It's very, very nice. But I thought I would make this video to bring it to everyone's attention. If they either don't know this product exists or wants to see something about this product, that is just about it. If you have any questions, always feel free to leave comments here. I don't know if YouTube direct messages still exist. If they do, direct message me if you have any questions. Otherwise, there we go, and that's about it. So we can go ahead and just fold that up, and everything's ready to go. You have everything that you need for your tournaments, and when you're playing, if you don't want your opponent to see what you're running, just close your bag. Or just put your top cover on, peel it back, grab what you need, you're good. What I ended up doing is I ended up putting all my tokens on top of this, and then peel either way, depending on what I need. That way my opponent doesn't know what I'm playing, can't play around it, and it's nice and safe. Alright, thanks. Have a nice day, guys.